don't know who she is.
That's tough.
I was sitting in my office, cleaning the debris out of my 38, wondering where my next case was coming from. I like being a private eye, not to mention the dames, which I rank as a minor preoccupation of mine, just ahead of breathing. That's why when the door to my office swung open and a long, red blonde named Heather Butkus came striding in and told me she was a nudie model and needed my help, my salivary gland shifted into third. What can I do for you, sugar?
I want you to find someone for me.
Missing person? You tried the police?
Not exactly. Mr. Leo Powitz.
Call me Kaiser, sugar. All
God?
right, so what's the scam?
God.
God?
That's right. God. The creator. The underlying principle. The first cause of things. The all-encompassing. And I want you to find him for me.
I've had some fruitcakes up in my office before, but when they're built like she was, you listen. Why?
That's my business, Kaiser. You just have to find them.
I'm sorry, sugar. You got the wrong boy.
Why?
Unless I know all the facts.
Okay, okay.
Let's have it. All on the line, sugar.
Well, the truth is, I'm not really a nudie model.
No?
No, my name isn't Heather Butkus either. It's Claire Rosenberg, and I'm a student at Vassar, philosophy major, history of Western thought, and all that. I have a paper due January on Western religion. All the other kids in the course will hand in their speculative papers, but I want to know. Professor Grabanner said if anyone finds out for sure, there's a clinch to pass the course. And my dad promised me a Mercedes if I get straight A's.
Her story was beginning to interest me. Spoiled co-ed, high IQ, and a body I wanted to get to know better. Okay, what does God look like?
I've never seen him.
Well, how do you know he exists?
That's for you to find out.
Oh, great. And you don't know what he looks like, or where to begin looking?
I suspect that he's everywhere. In the air, in every flower, in you and me, and in this chair.
Uh-huh. So she was a pantheist. Made a mental note of it, and I'd give her case a try. For $100 a day, expenses, and a dinner date. She smiled and okayed the deal. Maybe God did exist. Maybe he didn't. But somewhere in that city, there sure were a lot of guys who were going to try and keep me from finding out. My first lead was Rabbi Itzik Wiseman, the local cleric who owed me a favor for finding out who was rubbing the pork on his hat. I knew something was wrong when I spoke to him because he was scared. Real scared.
Of course. You know what, but I'm not even allowed to say his name. He'll strike me dead. Whichever I couldn't understand why someone is so touchy about having his name said.
You ever see him?
Me? Are you kidding me? I'm lucky to see my grandchildren.
Then how do you know he exists?
How do I know? What kind of question is that? Could I get a suit like this for $14 if there was no one up there? Here, feel like I'm not dying. How can you doubt it?
You got nothing more to go on?
Hey, what's the Old Testament? How do you think Moses got the Israelites out of Egypt? With a smile and a tap dance? Believe me. You don't part the Red Sea with some gizmo from a Corvette. It takes power.
So he's tough, eh?
Yes, very tough. You'd think with all that success, he'd be a lot sweeter.
How come you know so much?
Because we're the chosen people. He takes the best care of all his children, which I'd also like to someday discuss with them.
What do you pay for being chosen?
Don't ask.
So that was it. The Jews were into God for a lot. It was the old protection racket. Take care of them for a price. From the way Rabbi Wiseman was talking, he had soaked them plenty. I got into a cab and headed over to Danny's Billiards on 10th Avenue. There I met Chicago Phil. Forger, bank robber, strong-armed man, and an avowed atheist.
The guy never existed, Kaiser. This is a straight dope, the big type. Here, there's no Mr. Big. It's a syndicate, mostly Sicilian. It's international, but there's no actual lead, except maybe the Pope.
I want to meet this Pope.
It can be arranged.
Does the name Claire Rosenberg mean anything to you?
No.
How about Heather Butkus?
Sure. She's that parasite job from Radcliffe.
Radcliffe. She told me Vassar.
Well, she's lying. She's a teacher at Radcliffe. She was mixed up with a philosopher for a while.
Thanks, Bill.
Take it from me, Kaiser. There's no one out here. It's a void. I couldn't pass all those bad checks or screw society the way I do if for one second thought I was able to recognize authentic sense of being.
I had a beer at O'Rourke's and tried to add it all up. Why was Claire Rosenberg lying to me about Vassar? That night I had dinner with Claire. 10 minutes after the check came, we were in the sack. Brother, you can have your Western thought. She went through the kind of gymnastics routine that would have won first place at the Tijuana Olympics. I was smoking and staring up at the ceiling. Claire, what if Chicago feels right?
You mean?
You can never really know when we have faith.
That's absurd.
She was upset. The phone rang.
It's for you.
The voice on the other end of the line was Sergeant Reed of Homicide.
You still looking for God?
Yeah,
Great oneness, creator of the universe, first cause of all things?
that's right.
Somebody with that description just showed up to the morgue. You better get down here right away.
It was him, all right. From the looks of him, it was a professional job. I went outside and sucked some air into my lungs and tried to clear my head. I took a cab over to Newark and got out, walked a block to Giordino's Italian restaurant. There, at a table in the back, was His Holiness. It was the Pope, all right, sitting with two guys I had seen in a dozen police lineups.
Sit down. Would you like some fettuccine?
No thanks, Holiness, but you go ahead.
Nothing. Not even a salad.
I just ate.
Suit yourself.
I'll come right to the point, Pontiff. I'm looking for God.
Came to the right person.
Then he does exist.
Sure he exists, but I'm the only one that can communicate with him. He speaks only through me.
Why you, pal?
Because I got a red suit. If I went around in slacks and a sports jacket, I couldn't arrest a religion-wise.
Name Claire Rosenberg mean anything to you?
Sure, she's in science department at Brian Mayer.
Science, you say. Thanks.
For what?
The answer, Pontiff. Driving to Claire's apartment, I put the pieces together. For the first time, they fit. When I got there, something seemed to be troubling her.
God is dead.
It was you. You, baby, not Heather Buttkiss or Claire Rosensweet, but Dr. Ellen Shepard.
How did you know his name?
Professor for physics at Bryn Mawr. The youngest one to ever head the department there.
No, Kaiser, I swear. I don't know what you're saying.
No, baby. You posed as a pantheist, and that gave you access to him. If he existed, which he did. He went with you to Shelby's party, and when Jason wasn't looking, you killed him.
Who the hell are Shelby and Jason?
What's the difference? Life's absurd now anyway.
Kaiser, you wouldn't turn me in.
Oh yes, baby. When the Supreme Being gets knocked off, somebody's gotta take the rap.
Oh, Kaiser, you wouldn't go away together. Just the two of us. We could forget all about the philosophy, settle down, and maybe get into somatics.
Sorry, sugar, it's no dice.